what is the appendix or appendices of a business plan, and what's included in the appendix? Well, generally, the business plan is going to make reference to lots of information and material that it doesn't necessarily make sense to include that specific information within the plan. You're including summations of it or simply making reference to it in support of a proposition. For example, you may have lots of market research. You may have some statistics about the marketplace and things like that within the business plan summarized. But if you want to include the actual resources, the actual things from which you drew the material, like long form research or statistical analyses that show all sorts of information about the market or something of that nature, you're going to include this in the appendices because it doesn't make sense to have it in the business plan. All right, so some common things that you have in the appendices or in the appendix is marketing materials. Okay, it wouldn't make sense to have all of those visuals and all of those specific sources of information within the business plan. So it's better to attach them at the end, mainly as an example or reference, because you're going to constantly be creating this stuff and it wouldn't make sense to have it all in the business plan. Specific types of research that again is voluminous in nature, and so in the business plan you've made reference to something and you need to support it. You take that research to support the assertions that you've made in the business plan. Design layouts, such as for products or organizational structure for how you are going to deploy your human resources and things like that. All of this might be better laid out visually in the appendix rather than in long form in the business plan, which is where you'll have more of a summary. Okay, important contracts as examples. These can be generally for demonstration or simply proof. So you're going for a loan and you state that you have ongoing contractual relationships with a big vendor. Okay, you have government contracts, for example. You may attach one of your primary government contracts to the end as support for this assertion to demonstrate that you truly do have that contract. Okay, any large visuals and lists that go on and on that would take up a lot of space in the business plan, but are superfluous once you've actually stated that it exists, you'd include in the appendix rather than in the body of the business plan. So this is what the appendix is and what it's for. And this is the type of material that, again, you'll commonly find in a business plan appendix.